Today, we are finally starting a new off-road project. I know we're due for a new project, overdue for a new project, because I've kind of just been working on the same stuff for a while. So, I have been working on this, I've been planning this thing for, I want to say, like 3 months now, buying a crap ton of parts for this, and I think we finally have enough to get started working on it. We don't have everything. A couple of things I bought, there's still shipping, shipping's taking forever nowadays, so still waiting for a couple things to get here, but we hopefully have enough to at least get started working on this thing. Now, for the tires, I bought some 25-inch Sun F tires with aluminum rims, so hopefully they're a little bit more lightweight than steel. Bought a plastic racing seat. Hopefully this thing's probably going to have to add some padding to that, just to get it a little bit more comfortable. For the engine, we have this. This is a CBR 1000. It is fuel injected, which means it produces 172 horsepower. We are finally building a project with more than 100 horsepower. Took us long enough. So now, quick story about this thing. I'm not 100% sure if we're using this. I do want to build this project with an engine like this, but I'm not sure if we're going to use this. Because when I found this on Craigslist, I found this thing for like $500 on Craigslist. The ad said, you know, running engine. The picture showed a really good condition engine on the floor next to wiring harness, next to CDI, headers, intake manifold, everything I needed to get this thing running, and for $500. Couldn't resist, drove 2 hours to go pick it up. Once I got there, it looked nothing like the picture. This is what it looked like when I brought it home. I didn't really look at it closely before I bought it, and I kind of just, okay, here's your money, let's load it on my truck, and I drove home. Once I got it home, I started looking at it more closely and wishing I didn't buy it because holy crap, was this thing not in good condition. Apparently this bike was totaled. The guy took a hacksaw and cut off the front end. He also cut up a bunch of the wiring, so I'm going to definitely need a new wiring harness. If you looked down through the throttle bodies, you could see brown standing water in the cylinders. Plus, there was mold growing on the side of it, so this thing's probably sitting outside for who knows how long. This thing's definitely going to need new wiring harness as well as a complete top-end rebuild. I probably need new jugs for this thing. Probably new valves, new pistons, who knows what's wrong with this. I'm looking down at the valves and they are pretty badly rusted. So, now we're going to use this to mock up the frame. I'm going to build this into the frame, but while I'm building the frame, I will be looking for a new CBR 1000, hopefully one that actually runs. And, by the time the frame is done, if I can't find one that's not, $5,000 or $6,000 and a perfectly working bike, I'll try to rebuild this. I know it's backwards. I know ideally I should fix this engine first and then build a frame for it. But honestly, I'm kind of hoping I don't have to fix this, and I'm kind of hoping I can just find a new engine that runs, that works, that's something that's not like $3 or $4, $5 grand. So, because CBR 1000s are not cheap. So, now as far as the design of this thing, I'm not going to try and explain how I'm building this or what this thing's going to look like. I do have a design in mind, I'm just not going to explain it. As far as the rear suspension, it's going to be a little experimental. I'm not sure how well it's going to work, but basically I saw a picture online years ago of a new type of suspension style that's basically fully independent long travel suspension without using any hind joints or CV axles. Ever since I saw that picture online, I've always wanted to try it, and today we are finally trying it with this project. Now, I'm not going to try and explain how it's going to work or what it's going to look like. I'll build it and then explain it. So, anyway, enough rambling. Let's finally start working on this thing.
Alright, so I know I really haven't been explaining pretty much anything of what we're doing, but basically, these are the rear tire hubs, I guess you'd call them. Basically, I found these bearings at Northern Tool. I forget what these are called, but they're just wheel bearings, I guess. There's a fancy term for them, I forgot it. So basically, these mount on both sides. There's going to be an axle going through. The tire's going to mount on one side, the sprocket's going to mount on the other side. And then everything is going to be connected together with an 1.25 inch axle. Now, these things are pretty heavy. This is some really thick material. I bought a bathroom scale to see just how much these things weigh. 9.2 pounds. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it says 9.2 pounds. So, yes, pretty heavy. So I'm just going to try and take some material off the middle and try to lighten these things up. Alright, finally finished taking some material off, and it's definitely a lot lighter than the other one that I haven't done yet. Definitely a lot lighter, but let's see how much lighter. Oh, come on. The only way it works is if I have my hand. I think this is not heavy enough to work. If I just put this thing on there, it just says 0. So I have an idea. We know what this is. We know that this is... Oh, come on. Weigh it. We know that this is 9.2 pounds. Let's add them both and then subtract 9.2. Why is it saying 7.4? Oh, this thing's stupid. Add them both. 14.8. Alright, so 14.8 minus 9.2. Is that it? Equals 5.6. So 5.6 from 9.2 to 5.6. Let's say almost 6 pounds. I'd say that's a decent amount of material removal. I don't want to make this thing too thin, and because I'm going to be welding on one side, I don't want this thing warping, because the bearings I'm using, if it's warped, they're just going to destroy themselves. So, almost 6 pounds, I'd say that's good enough. So, now it's time to do the second one. First one only took me 2.5 hours, so this one's probably going to take the same.
Alright, these have been taking absolutely forever to machine these things. Now, they're not done, definitely not done. We still need to do a couple more things. We need to drill the 4 holes on this side, so therefore we can mount the studs through it and bolt the tire on this side. And we also need to mount the sprockets on the hubs. Now, I bought 2 sprockets on eBay. They finally got here and they're the wrong size. I ordered 530 sprockets and these are 520. So I had to order new ones. Hopefully they'll get here sometime next week. The tooth count on these, in case you guys are curious, is 51 teeth. So a little bit big, but we have, 25-inch tires, so therefore these have to be pretty decent size. Now these things are definitely not lightweight. These are pretty heavy. I weighed both of them and they weigh 20 pounds each. So 40 pounds right here just for hubs. I definitely want to figure out ways to make these things a little bit lighter. I did decide to weld 4 gussets on this side. No, it's not going to affect mounting these onto the tires. What I'm going to do is drill the 4 holes right next to the gussets and then cut out material in between the gussets to try to lighten these things up on this side. That's why I left it pretty thick. And also take a lot of material off the hub. This thing doesn't have to be this big. And probably take a little bit more material off the middle of this thing. So try to lighten these things up because they are pretty heavy. Now, I have to end this video, so therefore I can upload this on Sunday. What I'm going to do is next video, which is for me tomorrow, I'm going to start working on the front hubs. They're a lot less complicated, so they're hopefully going to be able to be built a lot faster because these were super complicated and took forever. Hopefully by the time I finish the front hubs, the new sprockets will get here, so therefore we can also finish these in the next video, so therefore we can finish the front and rear hubs in the next video, and then the video after that, we can start working on building the frame. So, all that's going to have to be for the next video, for the next couple of videos of this project. For now, I gotta end this video here. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see ya in the next video.